Hey everyone, Shane here with etrailer.com. Today I have a 2018 Chevrolet Volt, and I'm going to walk through how to install the EcoHitch Invisi Trailer Hitch receiver. When you're looking for a hitch for your Chevrolet Volt, back instin's a little bit low. When you compare this to the other two that are available, this one's not going to limit you to ground clearance, and it's going to be completely hidden when it's not in use. For this one, a receiver is actually going to be located right behind our license plate, where the other two would come out down here at the bottom of our fascia. And as I mentioned, they're going to limit you on a little bit of ground clearance, where this being up where it is, we don't have that issue. This is going to have a 2" by 2" receiver tube opening, which is going to accommodate a lot of different hitch mount accessories, where the other two hitches are going to be 1¼ inch and are going to limit you to what you can put on them. Our hitch pin hole, which is back here in the back, is going to be 5/8 inch in diameter. It's going to take a standard 5/8 hitch pin and clip. Hitch pin and clip does not come with this hitch, but it can be found here at eTrailer. Now, one thing I will suggest, you'll notice the hole here. It is a little bit difficult to get the pin and clip in there, so I suggest trimming this out just a little bit more on whichever side you're going to be installing the pin on, and that'll give you a little bit more access for your hand. As far as the safety chain loops are back behind the bumper beam. To get access to them, if you're going to tow, you're going to have to go underneath and put holes in the bottom panel, which is just a cardboard panel, but you're going to have to put access holes in the bottom panel to be able to reach up and hook them onto the safety chain loops. The hitch is going to be constructed out of cycle materials, which is combined with aluminum, stainless steel, and steel. It's going to have a nice thick black powder coat finish. It's going to help resist any rust or corrosion. I always recommend checking the owner's manual of the vehicle. Make sure the vehicle can withstand that amount of weight. You're going to hold the lowest number between the vehicle and the hitch. As far as measurements go, from the ground to the top innermost part of our receiver tube, you're looking at about 24 inches. So we're going to have plenty of height from the ground, but we're not going to have to worry about anything getting close to dragging. From the hitch pin hole, or from the center of the hitch pin hole, to the outermost part of the fascia, we're looking right at about 5 to 5¼ inches. Keep that number in mind for any of those hitch mount accessories that may fold up. You want to make sure they're not going to make contact with the back of the vehicle. Now that we've gone over some of the features, let's walk through how to get it installed. Start our installation on the underside of the vehicle. We're going to remove the 5 Torx head screws on the bottom of our fascia on the driver's side, and you're going to have 3 on the passenger side. And we'll take a 7mm socket. We'll remove the 5 bolts. We're running right across the bottom edge of our fascia to our underbody panel. Next, we're going to come to our fender liner behind our tire, and we're going to have 4 Torx head bolts we need to remove. We're going to use a T15 Torx bit to remove those. Everything we do on this side, it's going to be repeated the same on the other side of the vehicle. Once you get all 4 of your Torx head bolts removed, pull back your liner. Right up here, you're going to have a 7mm head bolt. Connects your rear fascia to your fender. We need to remove that on each side. What I like to do, and it's completely up to you, is where your rear fascia and your fender meet, I like to take some painter's tape and tape these 2 lines. That way when we take our fascia off, we're going to put it back on. If these 2 meet in any way, we don't worry about chipping the paint. Next, we're going to come to each tail light. On the inside, same Torx bit, we're going to remove the 2 screws, and then a Phillips screwdriver, we're going to remove that bolt there. Then we're going to come right here to the outside corner, right where the light kind of goes down to the body. You take the palm of your hand, put it in there like this, and we're going to push straight back. Pull our light out, push that red tab up, push down on this black one, and we'll disconnect it and set our lights aside. We're going to do the exact same thing with this tail light. Now we're going to start removing our fascia. Keep in mind, you're going to have wiring over here on your driver's side if you have sensors, and also for lights. It's a good idea to have an extra set of hands. If you don't, take the box that your hitch comes in, lay it right underneath the edge of your bumper. We're going to come to the outside. We're going to start working our way to the center. We're going to use the box to set our fascia down on so it's not sitting on the ground. At your fenders, all you have to do is pull out and work your way up. We're going to come here to our driver's side. Once we get it loose, you're going to have a plug. Push the red tab up, and then you're going to push this black tab here to separate them. Sometimes these can be difficult to get apart because of the dirt debris that can get caught inside. Once you get it disconnected, set your fascia somewhere safe so it doesn't get damaged. 13mm socket. We're going to remove the 2 hex head bolts for our exhaust hanger. Then we're going to slide our exhaust hanger off. And we're going to set this aside for right now. Next, we're going to take a 15mm socket. We're going to remove the 3 nuts that are holding our bumper beam onto the body of the vehicle. We're going to have 3 on each side of the vehicle. I'm going to leave one on loosely like that because I'm not sure how the bumper beam is actually sitting on, if it has a clip that holds it in place or not, and I don't want this side to fall off when I'm taking the other side off. We can remove our bumper beam, we'll set it aside. 10mm socket, the RF detector or sensor, we're going to remove this nut. We're going to pull this off. We're going to move it over one and reinstall it. This stud here, we're going to take a pair of pliers and we're going to bend it until it breaks off because it needs to be removed. We're going to take our hitch. We're going to set it over the factory studs. We're going to take our factory bumper beam. We're going to put it right over the top. We're going to take one of the nuts that comes in our kit. We're going to install on each side. This is going to hold them up in place so we can install our remaining hardware. With our hitch and bumper beam loosely installed, these brackets right here, I'm going to kind of bend them down a little bit until we can get our hanger to fit back in there. Once you can get it to where the holes line up, we're going to reinstall it on our exhaust, raise it back up, and get our hardware put in place. Then we'll come back. All of the studs for our hitch and our bumper beam, we're going to put on a flat washer, split lock washer, and the nut. 17mm socket, we're going to come back and we're going to tighten all of our hardware. Now, they don't really give you specifics on tightening, they don't give you torque specifications. What I suggest is tighten them down until it stops and then another quarter turn. Next, we're going to need to trim out our fascia. We're going to need a 4-inch hole saw bit and a 3.5-inch hole saw bit. Right where your factory license plate mounts on the other side, you're going to find these 4 holes. This is the top of our fascia, this is the bottom. We're going to draw a straight line between these two. From here, we're going to go up 2 5/8. From here over, we're going to go over 3.5. From here, we're going to go over another 2 1/4, put a mark, and then we're going to go up again 2 5/8. This is going to be the center for our 4-inch. This one is going to be the center for our 3.5-inch. This one is going to be the outer edge for a 3.5-inch. Another thing I want to mention is right at the top, you may have this plug attached right here. Where this has to be cut out, that hole saw bit is going to cut off about half of that. So you want to make sure you disconnect that wiring harness from the adapter that's holding it in place before you start cutting anything. With the rotary tool, I'm going to cut this corner off right here first, so I make sure I get my 4-inch hole centered there. Might be a good idea if your hole saw bit seems to be grabbing too much, is run it backwards. Once you get your 4-inch cut out, take your 3.5-inch, center it on there, draw the circle, move it over, set it on your line, draw the circle till it meets the 4-inch, then take a ruler and go from the outside edge of your 3.5-inch straight line to the edge of your 4-inch. So once we cut these out, we're going to cut those little corners out as well, and it'll be an oval circle. Your kit's going to come with a new license plate bracket. We'll take our old hardware, we're going to install it back into the existing connectors here to hold the bracket in place. It's going to come with some new clips. They'll go down here in the corner, and you'll just hang your license plate from the bottom holes instead of the top ones. Once you have your license plate bracket installed, go ahead and reinstall your fascia in reverse order from the way you took it off. Make sure you don't forget to hook up your wiring over here on your driver's side. When reinstalling your fascia, we're going to go from the center out this time. Now, one thing I do want to mention, you don't have quite a very large hole to put a pin in on the one side or the other. So it may be a good idea before you get this completely reinstalled. If you want access for that pin, or even more access for your clip, depending on what side you put it on, you're going to have to trim this out more. What I suggest is take your license plate, kind of get it in the area where it's going to mount. You can kind of see the outline on this one. And you can trim it out as long as you stay behind or inside of this mark where your license plate is. You're never going to see it, because when you have your license plate on, it'll be covered. Now, if you decide you're going to trim this, once you get it trimmed, go ahead and reinstall your fascia in reverse order from the way you took it off. Once you have your fascia reinstalled, you're ready to go. It's going to do it for a look at and installation on the EcoHitch Invisi trailer hitch receiver on a 2018 Chevrolet Volt.